Good morning. Hey, Justin. All's good? Sound check. Just letting you take time to listen to all this ruckus with parrots. So again, Jonathan here. Welcome to Belize Bird Rescue. This is one spot that I enjoy waking up to because you can hear several species of parrots, and believe me, bear with me as we go through this tour because it can get loud. You can probably hear it, and it's feeding time. So this morning we've been up since about probably 6:30, getting all the food prep, and we're talking about 20 oranges, several pounds of veggies, corn, coconuts, all that's been sliced and diced, and these guys are ready to go. Now, one quick thing about Belize Bird Rescue. Whoops! They're hungry, so they're coming to get attention. They started off, both Nikki and Jerry, in 2004. Were approached by two locals, and they were selling them 2 parrots. I believe they were red lord parrots, and you will be seeing the species in a few minutes. And they quickly noticed that there was a problem here in Belize with poaching and parrots being sold illegally. And it took them some time and some efforts and some joint, I would say, permissions with the Forest Department, which have allowed them to do what they're doing now, which is their focus is to rehabbing parrots first, and then they moved on to other birds that we will see. Some other water birds, sometimes we get toucans, other raptors, and this place dedicates their time and effort to give all these birds a second chance. Now, not all the birds are able to go back into the wild. Some of them come with permanent damage, some of them get sick, some of them get injured by humans, and unfortunately they can't go back. What happens to those? Well, they stay here and they're given a loving home. They get fed, they get all the attention needed. And during this time, because of COVID, and I must say our Prime Minister has declared us COVID free, so I'm happy to announce that. Right now, the Belize Bird Rescue is down to bare minimum. Usually, this is baby season, and there's usually more interns and volunteers helping out, but we're gonna have to do what we can when we can. So real quick, I'm going to show you, the other thing, as we move along through our tour, you might lose me for a second as my phone switches over from Wi-Fi hotspot to hotspot, okay? So don't go anywhere if you see me drop. So I'm just going back to Nikki and Jerry. So someone's come over to say hi. Oops, never mind, they're left. So they're getting hungry. One thing is that both Jerry worked in the energy industry, and they built this home as their retirement home, but that didn't really happen. So now what's happened is that they've converted their own home into a private bed and breakfast where all the proceeds go towards feeding and even paying the staff that it takes to run this place. I'm going to invert the camera here for a sec. This is what it looks like. So out there, it's hard to see, but there is one of the enclosures there. Some of these enclosures are actually off limits because they are part of the rehab process. Last thing we want to do is teach these birds how to talk, because that's not wild. So here's one of them. He's actually getting ready to be fed. So now we're gonna try our best. I'm gonna try my best not to disrupt the flow of things. We're gonna see anything from some of the birds that can't be released to newly, I would say, baby yellowheads, which are kind of the cream of the crop. And yeah, so let's get this started. So walking down there. So this is their home that they've modified and made into a bird rescue center. We can see some of the birds that have already been released. So yeah, these guys have already went through the rehab process. So these guys were probably in some sort of really bad caged situations, or they were probably poached. And now Nikki and her team have worked hard to get them back into the wild. But of course, they like free meals when they get a chance to. These are native. These are white-fronted parrots, one of the more common species. All right, here we go. We're gonna go down to the kitchen. Here we go. I see a grumpy old man, and he was actually surrendered by a Canadian couple that was moving back to Canada, and they just wanted to give him a loving home. So he roams around here. He's partially blind, and he's kind of cranky, but other than that, he's kind of cool. Papi. All right, here we go. All right, here we are. There's Nikki. This is the lady. This is the bird lady. Here we go. So we've all set up. So this is all the food. Currently, we have about 180 birds in here. This is Jujube, another one of our non-releasables. She is a yellow-headed parrot. She's very fond of Nikki, so if I go near her, I'll be missing a finger. So okay, this morning, back again, we have been slicing, dicing, getting all this food ready, and this has to be done every single day. Birds do not get a day off. Sunflower seeds. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to set the camera here, and I'm going to give Nikki a quick help.
Hey, how's it going? This is the Arasari food. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you're fine. This is a joint effort. So Arasari is members of the Toucan, and there's Oscar. He's one of the full-time staff. I'll put this here. Hope this works. Okay, so slicing bananas real quick. And again, so when people come here, even the volunteers or even the students, when students come here, all the help they need can be appreciated. I mean, everybody can slice and dice fruits. So feel free to ask questions. Once the food is prepped. What's that? Oh, sorry. I'm doing it bad already. See, Nikki says you gotta peel it. Whoops.
Take these off here. Yeah, that size for that.
Okay. So because of the whole pandemic situation, it's been quite a struggle to get some fresh fruits at the market, because on a regular day we could just go to the market and we get all the fruits we need. But in this case, we've actually had to rely on local farmers and people volunteering and donating plenty of bananas. I mean, we're in the tropics, so bananas, plantains, papayas, all that good stuff is available, but we gotta get to it. All right.
I can take her.
You can take her. All right. Just a second. Right. 1 second. Bananas are very sticky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are for the babies, these guys.
Okay. So do I take pots out now? Or I can take pots out now?
He's out. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can go say hi. Take a food. Yeah. I can finish the Arasaris.
Okay, I'm not sure where to go next now.
Okay.
All right, let me check. Let's see if we have any questions. Tell Nikki to. Oh, Justin says hello.
Hi, Justin.
Do you supplement with native fruits? All right, I got a question here from Lisa Cobb. Do you supplement with native fruits? And if so, what fruits? All right, so the native fruits that we use, well, at the time being, Lisa, there's plenty of mangoes and oranges, papayas, and bananas. And that's exactly what we're doing now. So we try to, like in the wild, some of these parrots depend on seasonal fruits, and when we do have them available, we give them. Seasonal fruits, mangoes are a perfect one. I'll take you out. So we have here a rack of bananas that people have willingly volunteered. And guess what? They're going to be used to feed the animals here. So while Nikki and Oscar are wrapping up with the fruits, we're going to take a quick stop at the clinic. And these are birds that have been injured. So here we go. This is usually off limits because it says, but yeah, we'll ignore that for now. Okay, so again, we have been privileged to use several vets, but at the time being, we don't have any because our airports have been closed. Let's see. Here we have an Arasari. Female Arasari. She is a victim of a car crash, and she's patiently waiting her food. She seems very well. Nikki said that when she arrived, she actually laid an egg. She was found by a good Samaritan on the side of the road and getting the best treatment she can possibly get. Gotta love these guys. And we have another car victim. This guy is not doing too well. Here we go. Another colored Arasari. You can tell he's really not doing well. Nikki's actually surprised that he's lasted this long. And car collisions are pretty tough on especially a bird this size. So we're hoping that he gets through another night. He's probably under some sort of medication. Which one, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I know Nikki mentioned he's on strong painkillers. All right. And I believe they said we have a bird of prey. Here he is. I won't be able to open the cage here. Does anybody recognize the species? This is a bat falcon. So this looks like a little male based on the size. Sorry, I'm kind of a raptor junkie myself. So this little guy apparently is believed to have been learning how to fly, and he ran into probably a wire. So he's got extensive bruising on his, I believe it was his left wing. He seems to be alert and well. Since he's a newly fledged falcon, we think the recovery should be pretty fast. Last thing we want to do is keep a caged bird of prey. Again, bat falcon, one of our smaller species of raptors. The rehab process for this guy is that we're going to be sending him to a flight enclosure. Once we see that he can fly on his own and hunt on his own, then he'll be deemed and ready to be released. So beautiful. A young bat falcon. Let's see who else is in the clinic. Oh, looky here. Oh. He's a little nervous. All right. For you owl lovers, this is our smallest species of owl, a ferruginous pygmy owl. So just by us being here, it seems to be disturbing him, so we're going to leave him alone. He too, I believe, is a young fledgling. Fell out of the nest, and now making sure that he's well. And here, oh, I didn't see you before. So we have another baby owl. And from the looks of it, in fact, there's two baby owls. Can everybody see? It's hard to tell when they're in this plumage, but I'm going to go with mottled owl. They have yellow eyes, and these were victims of, we have been having a lot of forest burns, and these guys were going to be pretty much barbecue if they weren't rescued and brought here. Awesome. All right, so that's the clinic and the special needs that we have here. Let's check up with Nikki and see if we can start giving out some of this food. Tamara says they love baby owls. Yeah, we love them too. Hey Nikki, are we doing good? Almost. take a side trek. So in the meantime, they're not quite ready yet. So we're going to see some of the other non-releasables real quick. Here we go, white front. This guy is partially blind, and of course we cannot release a blind parrot. So this is the reason he's got to stay here. Here, these guys usually need some love and attention. So these guys we can talk to, and we can play with them. But for now, we'll just not do that. This one's Butterball. So I remember when he got here. He actually looked like a Butterball turkey when he first arrived. Not a single feather because he was so stressed out. And he was a severe case of animal cruelty, you can say. People weren't taking care of him. And slowly his feathers are starting to come back. So he's hungry and he looks like he'll take a little nibble. So this is Butterball. So for those of you that do visit and want to cuddle with your parrots, there are some that we can cuddle. Here's another released bird. This is a Redbook Pigeon. Sad thing is that this guy was already released, but he was recaptured by people who wanted to keep him as a pet. So guess what? They clipped his wings. As you can see there, they clipped his wings. But somehow he still manages how to fly, and he's just here waiting for some free food. Now, for those ladies that are joining us from CVTC, you guys remember this? This is our national bird, a toucan. The last time you saw him, he was on some sort of suspension. He couldn't even walk. He had some spinal injuries. Now look at him. He's able to stand on his own, which is excellent. He actually had to go through physical therapy. Yep, Belize Bird Rescue does do some physical therapy. And I gotta say, I love our national bird, the keel-billed toucan. So I'm glad he's doing so much better. Now we're going to take a quick look. We're going to go to some of the enclosures. Again, another case of severe animal cruelty. They gave him inappropriate perches. They didn't take care of him. And his feet are really deformed. And a parrot without his feet is basically like a person with no arms. They're a severe handicap for these birds. So Potts here is non-released. Now the red-lord parrot, speaking bird terms, is perhaps our most... Sorry about that. Again, like I said, red lords, I'm not sure where I cut off, but this is perhaps our most widespread species of parrot. Very popular for pets. But there's one species that's highly sought after, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And now we're going to take a quick look at our largest species of Amazon, which is parrot, meaning green parrot. These are mealy parrots, or blue crowns. Now, for now, we're not going to go into the cages until they get fed. These are. I can't say I see these species as pets. They're usually restricted to more forested areas and probably harder to get to. And people are looking for parrots that can talk. And these aren't the best talkers. Mealy parrots again. Now, because there are not any in the rehab center at the moment, but those would be our largest native species of parrot. All right. So remember when I said that Nikki and Jerry have basically dedicated their lives? They actually gave up their own home, which they had designed, and they said that they were going to retire here. And honestly, Nikki's one of the persons who's literally dedicated her life to these birds. And she could, there goes someone. And they rely on people staying in their bed and breakfast. So I'm just going to go as far as here. This is some of where the wild enclosures are. Some of these birds have to be kept separate. Like Jujubee, you guys remember the one at the feeding station? A yellow-headed parrot. Very shy. Yeah. Now, the yellow-headed parrot, I'm going to focus in, is perhaps the most endangered species of parrot that we have on the grounds. It is a subspecies. The subspecies is unique to Belize. So if someday they do decide to split these birds, we will actually get to have an endemic species of bird, which means it's only found here in Belize. Now, why are these guys critically endangered? Well, they can speak like people. It's crazy how they mimic people, and that's why people want them as pets. Now, during this time of year, these guys are breeding in the wild. And this is when poachers go out in large numbers and literally steal the young babies from the nest in hopes of making a profit. Breaks my heart totally. Okay, so it's getting a little loud. Here we have a pair of red lords. So what happens next, folks, is that the team is actually going to start distributing the food. See all those carts that we had earlier? Each of these birds are going to get some food. Again, another species. Oh, something is, I hear that there's something wrong with my connection. Whoops. Am I coming in through? Can anyone confirm that I'm still on? Can anyone confirm, please? I figured this was going to happen. I do apologize, folks. Okay, Paulo says I'm good. All right, just confirming. Again, I apologize. The hotspot picks up another, drops and picks up. Okay. All right, thanks, Justin. Let me see. Okay. All right, so now to the smallest member of the parrot family that we have here in Belize. These are all little olive-throated parakeets. Tiny, but very, very boisterous. Everyone's patiently waiting to be fed. Smallest member, the olive-throated parakeet. Yeah, so good. These are so cute. Okay. So for you birders, this is kind of a birdish paradise, you can call it. There's birds literally everywhere. Here's the enclosures again with the yellowheads. Yellowheads in the breeding season can get a little crazy, you can call it. Hello. This large enclosure has approximately, I believe they said it's 8 birds. These again are non-releasables, unfortunately. And what they're trying to do is hopefully establish a captive breeding program with these birds. Since they can't go back to the wild, they're alive, they're viable, they're beautiful birds, obviously charismatic. But this is the species that really, really needs help. Oh. Whoa. So we're going to have a special little treat for you. And we're going to go feed some yellow-headed. The story behind this is that these chicks are here for 2 reasons. A, they were at high risk of being poached, so they were removed from the nest, or there is a case of siblicide. Siblicide means that there's too many chicks in the nest, and the stronger ones are the strong. So, as we were saying, we were going to be feeding some yellow-headed baby parrots. And like I said, these guys were definitely going to be somebody's pet and sold off illegally in wildlife trade. Area called Precious, every single way, baby yellow-headed parrots. All right, Nikki, let's do this. All right. Partially blind. It's kind of but oh, looky there. Here we go again. All right, Nikki, let's do this. Getting all this food ready, and this has to be done every single day. Birds do not get a day off. flower seeds. Sorry folks, again we have resumed. So these are again the most endangered species of parrot we have here in Belize, and the one that's highly sought after by illegal pet traders. So every day, Nikki and the staff here gets to be mummies and daddies to these birds. Definitely the next generation of birds, yellow-headed parrots here in Belize. Oh my god, this is so cute! That's fun. Alright, so there's actually, Nikki, there's 20 babies, and I'm going to show you who's the youngest baby. The youngest baby is in here. You wouldn't even think it's a bird. Look at this guy. That's that famous begging call that they're doing, but he was the first one to eat this morning. Oh. And look, there's more yellowheads. They want to be fed. They're all hungry. Oh. And yeah, there's baby poop too. They definitely have a healthy appetite. That's good. Okay, so just real quick, for you hardcore birders, Nikki has made an observation. She's noticed that the yellowheads from the southern regions of Belize have black tongues. Yeah, see? Black tongues and black talons or nails. We don't have any birds from the northern area, but the ones from the north have actually white tongues and white toes. So that's very, very interesting stuff. And she says it's definitely something to keep a note on.
I got a question here from
All right. Lisa, all right. So Lisa Cobb wants to know, how often do we feed these babies?
The tiny ones 3 times. These guys twice.
There you go, Lisa.
We're trying to wean them as well, get them into solids.
Hi, Molly. Welcome. No problem, Lisa. Okay, folks. So this is wrapping us up as we get near the end of our tour here at Bird Rescue. We're gonna tell Nikki, the lady behind it, bye. Thank you so much, Nikki. All right. Oh, there's.
Okay. So again, we have been privileged to use several vets.
Okay, guys.
We don't have any because our airports have been closed.
Thank you so much for joining us on this tour. There's Pappy. Pappy has his food now. He's very, very happy. Thank you so much for joining us on this tour. Again, the people here at Belize Bird Rescue dedicate their time and effort. Both Nikki and Jerry have given everything they have. So by coming here and visiting and staying with them, you help make this possible. And every time I get, or every chance I get, I come here, volunteer, feed these babies, and just try to make a little bit of a difference. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the love of birds. Alright guys, thank you so much, and see you next time.